What is up, my beautiful broken army or broken family? Welcome back to the vlog. Yours truly, Broken Prophet here. And guys, it is 11:36 Sunday. Hopefully, you guys had an awesome Sunday. I did, but it just popped up. It's I can't even explain it. Some said press record, so if Spirit says press record, I'm gonna press record, and hopefully, you get some value from what I'm about to talk about. So, without further ado, guys, I was at the Lake Park Flea Market today. Met some awesome people. It was a wonderful experience. I had some candles, incense, oils for sale, a few other things. It was just an awesome experience. So much so that I'm going to be back next weekend. So, if you're in the area, this time I'm going to be there on Saturday because Sunday was booked. So, I'm going to be there on Saturday. So, if you're in the area, Lake Park, Georgia, just come to the flea market. Everybody knows where it is. And come on out. We'll wrap a taste. Let me fix this mic. But yeah, it was great. Funny thing, funny thing. So the spot that they gave me was in like the food court area. Excuse me, which is good. High traffic area, right? And they sell everything, from like food, like hamburgers and stuff. Yeah, that's food, right? But they also sell snacks. So they sell like funnel cakes, cotton candy, stuff like that. Anyway, there was this older Indian fellow and he got some cotton candy. And I guess he was sitting with I thought it was his wife because she was older too, but she looked younger than him, so it could have been his daughter. Then there was like a teenager, so it could have been like wife, daughter, granddaughter, or or y'all know what I mean. It was him with two ladies. So anyway, he walks up with his cotton candy, and cotton candy is one of those things that everybody eats differently. It's kind of like popsicles or ice cream or shoot hot dogs or sandwiches. Everybody or pizza, especially pizza. Everybody eats their pizza different, right? But everybody approaches that thing differently, right? So for some reason, y'all know cotton candy is the big old ball, right? He eats around around the top. I'm trying not to laugh, so y'all see what I'm talking about. So as he's eating, and I'm not staring at him watching. I'm not weird, but I'm just glanced because they were right in front of me. And after a while, he had whittled the top of this thing down so it was in a cylindrical shape that looked familiar. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it, guys. It after a while it looked like a dizzle. It did. It looked like a dizzle, and I'm like, why he eat it so that it looks like that? I mean, it was like you and then I mean, it even had the two gimmicks at the bottom just about. And I'm like, that's an odd way to eat your cotton candy, my dude. And he offered some to his wife, daughter, whoever the older lady was, and she was like just batting it away, like, go, go. And then he offered some to the teenage, and she was like, ooh. And I'm sitting there, and you could tell on his face he didn't do it on purpose. I mean, you could see from his facial expression, he didn't eat it so that it fell into that shape on purpose. And he wasn't playing a joke on them. He was legitimately trying to share his cotton candy with his family. And they were they were like, "You don't get that dizzle out my face." Oh man. Y'all can tell it's late and I'm tired. Like that just I rolled laughing. I did. I rolled laughing. Man, but yeah, I'm gonna be there next week, and I'm gonna be in the same spot actually. So we're gonna see how everybody else approaches their cotton candy. But without further ado, guys, there's still some seats for this webinar on grown folks magic. We were talking about dizzles with cotton candy on March the 8th at 7:15. We're gonna be talking about magical dizzles or whatever. What we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about the generating the energy through sex in order to make things happen or just make people want to have sex with us. We're gonna talk about all of it. But guys, you guys seem to really like the candle magic 101 video. So I decided to dig deeper in it. So maybe this will be 102. Okay. Because I see so many people approaching their candle magic incorrectly because it's being taught incorrectly. And you could tell it's being taught by people who don't know, or they're just mixing stuff together that they heard somewhere else or they saw somewhere and it sounded good. Because I see that a lot in the spiritual community. People will write down, especially repeat something that sounds good that they've not even tried. And if they try, they would find out that stuff don't work. But no, it sounds good because everybody wants to be the big person in the social media group that they're in. But anyway, so we talked about how to properly light the candle and how to make sure that it stays lit or whatever. And I like for beginners in Hoodoo to start off with candles because one, they're easily accessible. I mean, you don't have to get one of these. We showed that last time. You can get one of these and work it. Shoot, you can get a tea light and work it. Hell, in a pinch, you can get a birthday candle and work it. And the thing about candles, they're such a wonderful tool because you don't have to just leave it lit for it to be effective. Some workings, you can just burn it for like an hour, snuff it out, and then the next day come back, burn it for an hour. And it'll be just as effective that way. And that way you could work kind of with concealment, like behind, right up under somebody's nose in the same house, and they don't know what you're doing. I get that a lot. People ask me, well, how do I do my workings? And I'm like, what, do people follow you in the bathroom? Shoot, wrap this bad boy up in your bath towel, go in the bathroom and do what you gotta do. Snuff it out and go on about your business. Nobody will even know. Nobody will even know. So there we go. That's one of the first things I want to tell you. You don't have to just leave it burning all the time. You can just burn it for an hour and then snuff it out, put it up, come back, burn it for another hour, and it'll be just as effective. Okay. Another thing I want to talk about tonight, which is really the basis behind what I want to talk about tonight, is layering your workings. Yes, candle magic is a thing. But see, I don't know about y'all, but I'm about getting results. And you get results by kind of hedging your bets. What do I mean by hedging my bets? I don't want to throw everything I've got at a situation, meaning I'm going to overload this candle. No, I'm going to do several workings in conjunction with one another that will all aim towards a goal. And it doesn't have to be difficult. Seriously, let's say I, for instance, wanted to have my boss give me a raise. Now, first of all, I'm going to ask for the raise. That's another thing we got to get around, wanting the magic to do all the work. We still got to do something on our side. So, yeah, I'm going to ask for the raise. But before I do, see, I'm gonna layer my workings. I'm going to stack my workings. Of course, like we talked about in the Candle Magic 101 video, I'm gonna do a controlling candle and a money drawing candle. Because remember, magic flows through the path of least resistance. So I'm gonna create that pathway. I'm gonna make sure that the universe knows that the easiest way to get this money to me is to get me this raise that I'm about to ask for. Because I'm gonna be working the boss and I'm gonna be drawing money to me. So those are the candles that I'm going to do. I'm also going to burn some money drawing incense. Then I may dress my hand with some controlling oil. Then go up to my boss and shake his hand. He's going, you'll never shake my hand. Oh, boss, I just appreciate you. Or whatever. You see what I mean? You're layering it. See, magical law and physical law run parallel, and we layer things to add strength to them all the time in life. Think about it. If I, shoot, I don't have it on me, it's laying down there. But if I had that Bethlehem, if you're new to the channel, Bethlehem is a knife or a machete. If I had that Bethlehem and you tried to break into my house, yeah, that is some protection, right? That Bethlehem is definitely some protection. But before you get to me in the Bethlehem, what? You got to get through Hoodoo Dog because he ain't going to just let you up in here. Before you get to Hoodoo Dog, you got to get through the lock in my door. Before you get through the lock in my door, you got to get through the security cameras and with the lights and the alarm system. Before you even get to them, you got to get through the gate. You see, layers, layers. True, you can even do that with spiritual protections. I do. I put railroad spikes at the gate, protection powder around the house, red brick dust done correctly, not the way they did it in the skeleton key, but correctly at the doors. And guys, the way you correctly do it is not like they did in the skeleton key. You don't just lay a line of red brick dust. Like that ain't nothing. That stuff gonna blow away and it's gonna be done. The correct way to do it, the traditional way, the way it has been done forever outside of the movies, is you sprinkle some red brick dust, which is just powdered up red brick. Just take a hammer to it and go to work. But if you want to buy some, you can go to www.trueconjure.com. I don't have it on there, but I will tonight. You sprinkle it down there, you put a few drops of your own urine, and then you scrub it in with like a broom right at your doorstep. And that is your protection. A lot of people ask me where that came from. And to be honest, it's one of those things that's kind of been lost to what's the fancy word, to antiquity. But a lot of old workers say it came from, the story of the Passover, where they used lamb's blood and painted over their doorway so that the angel of death knew to pass them by. And since we didn't have no lamb's blood, we used some red brick dust and a little bit of urine. Other old workers, and this is the one that I kind of subscribe to as well. I mean, I do believe that there's some merit in the other explanation as well. But y'all hear me say all the time that natural law and physical law they run parallel to one another. And when you look out in the wild, what is one way that a lot of species mark their territory? Right, they hike their leg, and there it is. And the thing is, it's not just marking their territory; it is a threat. It is a warning. See, when that boy dog lifts his leg, then he goes kicking. A lot of people don't know what that dog is doing. He's kicking, and some of y'all have dogs. He'll pee and then he'll kick his leg back and kick dirt and stuff everywhere. Well, what he's doing is he's peed in that spot and he's kicking that dirt so that that pee spreads through a farther area. So your dog may just be this big, but to another dog that walks up and sniffs, he's like, "Man, I smell pee way up there. How big is this joker?" So he don't know that your dog that big because he's smelling pee over this huge area. He's like, "Man, that joker must be massive. I ain't about to mess with him." He turns around. In essence, you're doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing in essence. What's another way that we layer things in life? Shoot, like today, your boy, I was smelling good. Got me some new cologne, smelling good. How do we layer that though? Well, you've seen it. You can smell great just hitting the cologne. But what happens? What if you use the body wash and the lotion along with it? Oh shoot, you doggone, you shiny as a new penny. You stepping in hot cotton. You cooking with grease. At that point, right? Layering also helps if you get lucky. Some of y'all done got past some cologne or some perfume, and what was past that perfume or that cologne wasn't too righteous. They didn't layer it. So, you might want to hint next time you need to layer it. But anyway, back to back to the workings. So yes, cologne, and that's the Lord, candles, oil, and incense. You want to layer it. Another thing you can do another working that is along the same lines. For instance, you can burn a money candle and then you can make a doll baby of your boss. Just take some dirt, make some mud, making the shape of your boss, put a name paper and a petition up under it and burn a candle. You can, there's so many different ways, and you guys have seen so many different workings. The key is to do a few workings at the same time. So you can just burn a candle, but why not burn a candle, some incense, and a doll baby? You can just light some incense, but why not light some incense and a candle and something else? You can just wear some money drawing oil, but why not make some money, wear some money drawing oil, and then petition your ancestors at your ancestor altar as well. See, that is working. See, it's not as short as lighting a candle, but This is spiritual work, not spiritual play. So when you are doing these few things, you are almost ensuring that enough energy goes out to get the result that you're looking for. Okay. So this was a short video because I'm honestly about to record this podcast as well. But Spirit led me to tell some folks that um it's kind of like ritual construction 101. You know, a lot of times people get confused about where to start. And that's why I wanted to do this beginner series to kind of like piece it all together for you. Because a lot of times you guys will learn the working, then you learn another working, learn another working. It's like, well, when do I do them? Well, and then you get confused because you try to overthink it. Like, should I do a control and this? No, just layer them and then work. It'll iron itself out. Guys, don't think so much. I mean, of course you want to plan, but some people plan and plan and plan and never do. I would much rather, like this, even for the people I teach Hoodoo to, I would much rather you do and do and do and fail, and then we work, we kind of get you together, get you right with what it is you're doing, as opposed to you filling up notebook after notebook after notebook after notebook, and you've done nothing. You can talk eloquently about Hoodoo, but you can't work none of it. It's kind of like it's always some like person that's a candidate for my 600-pound life that can tell you everything about dieting and working out, but they ain't doing none of it. So that's it, guys. I'm about to record this podcast. Hopefully, you got some value from this, and you're gonna get out there and start layering your workings. Layering your workings. Now, I know some people are like, "Well, are you going to give us some recipes for incense? You're going to give us some recipes for oil?" Well, you can buy some. To be perfectly honest, um, yes, a lot of store-bought oils are bupkis. They are terrible, especially if the store has only been in business like 10 years. You ain't built up no spiritual currency. You know, there's a place in Atlanta that I went to as a child. You know, whenever I'm back home, 'cause, you know, I moved down to South Georgia. You know, I go there. It's called Rondo's Temple Sales. Right? Matter of fact, here I went and dug out a catalog for them. And of course, uh-oh. Like we had a little camera difficulty here. Y'all hold on. There we go. Had a little camera difficulty. Now, of course, you know, you can buy it from me. But, you know, look, this is their catalog. Look, you see this established 1944. This place is almost 80 years old. It's almost 80 years old. When you go in there, um yeah, it's almost it can you can tell. Now their oils and incense, you can probably ain't a root anything touch that stuff in 20 years or more. Probably more. But you see all the little old men and women going in there, and it's like their faith and their energy is powering that store. It's powering that store. So don't buy into the glitz and the glamour. You know, buy into tradition and what works. I feel myself getting ready to preach now. No, I'm gonna save the preaching for the podcast, the Hoodoo and Haints podcast. We're on iTunes, but yeah, get to layering your workings. And it look if the store's been launched in the last 10 years or so, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Funny story about Rondo's. So my grandma used to go in that store, and she would take me with her. And especially Southern parents? They love dragging you to the store just to tell you don't touch nothing. And what do? We touch stuff. And so my grandma was talking to the guy there, one of the rondos, and I decided that I felt I was too ashy. So I took some money drawing lotion and man, I slathered myself from the rooter to I caked it on. I like the way it smelt, doggone it. And the thing is, the caps on the bottles are, you know, like kind of wide, like this oil bottle. They're wide, so when you do like that, it's like it just globs out. And when you're a little kid, you stuck. Like your little kid brain don't know what to do with it. So it's like, So what do? You just start putting it on. So I'm covered in lotion. My grandma turns around and man, whew, Lord. Sometimes in my ancestor altar, she still tells me about that. But what they made me do, my grandma's idea, and the Rondos, because she wasn't about to pay for it. So she said, I'm gonna make him stand here and he gonna shake hands with everybody who walks in this store for the next 2 hours. And that's what I did. Now I didn't understand the value in that. I thought it was weird until fast forward, I would say I was in my late 20s and I was on like a turnaround casino trip. If you don't know what a turnaround casino trip is, where you meet in the parking lot, you pile onto like a charter bus, it drives you to a casino, y'all gamble all day, and then you come back later on that evening. And so I was there, a bunch of family members. I think it was like my aunt's birthday trip or something like that. Now, my aunt did not practice any of this stuff. And and you would think she grew up with Big Mama, but no, she didn't practice it. She just didn't. Just wasn't her thing. No worries. Now it was my thing, and the funny thing is, my aunt would always come to me and be like, "Hey, you got some of that oil? You got some?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course. I'm hitting big," and I did. I got into that casino, y'all, and I mean, I'm talking about cha-ching. I'm cha-ching. It's paying lights like. I mean, I'm throwing them dice, boy. Whew, yeah. Your boy throws dice. Like you better watch out. Your boy throws dice, and I keep my shoes laced up if I'm throwing dice somewhere where I don't know everybody in case I got to get up out of there. Because some of y'all get mad when I start taking y'all's money. But anyway, and I keep that Bethlehem. But I noticed as I'm hitting, my aunt's friends would come up. Shoot, you winning. Guys want to shake your hand. All right, hey, no problem. Hey, whoa, you got a hot hand. I just want to shake your hand. Okay, yeah, no problem. You know what I noticed? The more I shook their hands, the more they started winning, and I stopped. See? So that's what my grandma was doing. She was like, since I put on that lotion and I put on that anointing that I hadn't paid for or earned, I had to give it out to other people. See? Y'all gotta be careful what y'all label old wives' tales because there's some real smart old wives. And people want to look at the older traditions and be like, oh, they were just some old fools. Like Richard Pryor said, you don't get to be old by being no fool. It's plenty of young, smart men that's dead in them. They've been deleted. Didn't live long enough to spread that intelligence around. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all for listening to me. If you got some value from this, then please hit that subscribe button. A lot of people come and they watch the videos, they like it, but y'all forget to hit subscribe and hit that thumbs up for me. Tell me what you would like the next Hoodoo 101 series topic to be in the comment section, and we'll make that happen. But anyway, thank y'all so much. Get to the webinar. It's only $10, and all the other ones are $10 as well. You can get the replays, and I appreciate you guys so much. Y'all have a blessed one. Blessed start of your week. Profit out.